Several years ago, I made a couple of videos dealing with the claim that NASA accidentally left the lunar module out of some pictures which were supposedly taken at the same place. The reason for that hoax claim is because the background looks the same. Never mind the fact that the foregrounds are completely different, which means they were taken from different locations. These razor-sharp conspiracy photo analysts somehow missed that. Their claim implies that all the rocket scientists and assorted other geniuses at NASA were collectively that dumb, which in itself is a pretty stupid assumption. You know, about here on the intelligence scale. Those rocket scientists are about, here. More popular lately is the claim that pictures like these were taken at different locations, but the same fake backdrops were used over and over again. That is, debatably, maybe a little bit smarter, somewhere around here perhaps.
I'm so smart, yes it's true, I know better than they do. Follow me, up from me, I'm gonna be a celebrity.
I recently saw this video by johannbjorkman.com, which fairly represents those claims by hoax nuts that the same backdrop is being used in several different pictures. These are all screenshots from that video. As is usually the case, no careful photographic comparisons were shown in order to prove the point. So I'm going to do those comparisons, and let's see if the evidence supports the claim that one huge backdrop picture was moved from one location to another. First, a little orientation. This is the Apollo 17 landing site on Google Moon. North is up. Here are the locations used in the video. Here is East Massif, which is featured in each of the pictures. Johann focuses on this mound. And for further reference, here's Bear Mountain. The amount of change we should expect to see in a distant feature will depend on how far the camera moves from one location to another and the distance from the camera to the feature it records. These are the distances to the mound, as measured on Google Moon. They range from 12.6 to 15.8 kilometers. Here are the distances to the peak of East Massif. They range from 14.8 to 19.3 kilometers. Each of the pictures used is part of a 360-degree pan. We'll look at individual photos from each, starting with Station 3 and moving across to Station 8, which is 9.4 kilometers from Station 3. I've aligned and tilted the photos where necessary, and I've changed their relative sizes to make surface comparisons easier to follow. Don't worry, I'll show them without size adjustments later. You can see that the claim about these being some identical backdrop is bunk. I'll magnify 4 of those images and align them again, keeping the peak of the mountain in one place. What they do reveal is what we would expect to see when moving across the valley from right to left. Notice how the mound and other features migrate around East Massif as we're looking at it more and more from its eastern end. Notice Bear Mountain. It's quite a bit closer, so it appears to move a lot relative to East Massif and that mound. To you flat earthers out there, that's what perspective does. In case you're wondering why I didn't use Station 2, that's more up the slope of South Massif with higher ground to the southeast. They couldn't see East Massif from there, so there are no pictures of it from Station 2. Now, just to drop the other shoe, what about the sizes of surface features when we're closer and farther away? South Massif makes a better subject for this because it's much more along the line we're moving instead of perpendicular to it, as with the earlier pictures of East Massif. This allows the mountain to look pretty much the same in all the pictures and mostly just vary in size as our distance changes. This time I've aligned the pictures but have not changed their relative sizes. Let's see what happens as we move from Station 3 to Station 4 to Station 5, then to the LEM, and to Station 6 and Station 8. Clearly, it appears to get smaller. In the following sequence, I've magnified all those pictures by exactly the same amount. Look at the features on the side of the mountain. So I guess we can say that the backdrop claim has been pretty well debunked. This relates very much to the Oleg Olenek article where he used parallax measurements to try to prove Apollo was faked. It can be found on the ALS website. Maybe it would have been good for him to see something like this before writing such a technically detailed but fundamentally flawed paper. Sorry if all of this has been a little boring to some people, but I do have something more fun, and it really gives a perspective that's difficult to get from looking at Apollo pictures. This is a picture from Station 6. How big would some familiar thing look if it was at the base of East Massif? I suppose most hoax nuts would picture something like this. What would, say, Lower Manhattan look like from this distance? I'll superimpose a picture of part of the skyline in proper scale. And yes, I used two mathematical methods to do this. Ready? Here goes. Even some Apollo defenders would have never guessed that the mountain was that big and that far away. Maybe any hoax believers who see this will consider it the next time they think backgrounds look too much the same. If we look at that picture stitched to a couple more from Gene's Station 6 pan, there's also something pretty cool right about here. You can't see it at this resolution, but here's a magnification of the high-res picture. See it now? Yep, that's the lunar module right there. One more perspective. That little white dot marks where the LEM is. The peak of Bear Mountain is 2.9 times farther away from the camera. The center of that mound is 4.8 times farther away. The reality of Apollo is so much more interesting, enlightening, fun, and true than any dumb conspiracy theory. I'm adding this because a relative newcomer on my videos, Trimus, has been adding some very good comments, including one where he gave links to 2 or more pictures which related to my previous video concerning Eagle's shadow length. This addendum will make more sense if you watch that video first. Or not. You can click on this to see it. Don't forget to come back. This picture was taken from farther away from the LEM than the ones I used in the video. We can see how the shadow looks like it goes almost all the way to the horizon. But that's not the horizon, as we can see in the next picture provided by Trimus. This picture was taken from a few feet higher on the rim of Little West Crater. Now we can see to the true horizon. In fact, we can even see the nearby peak of the slope leading up to it from the LEM. That ridge is what we're seeing in the pictures taken from lower positions. My thanks to Trimus for his valuable contribution. And to follow up to Chris Topher, whose comment was featured in that video, he went on to post dozens and dozens more comments on my channel. Turns out he's a flat earther. Oh well, so much for his credibility. The contest challenge for this video has to do with these two assembled pans from Apollo 17. The question is, what do these pans reveal, which is related to the topic of this video? There could probably be more than one answer, so I'll give a mention to alternate good answers in my next video. The answer I'm looking for isn't something you'll have to enlarge the pictures for. Remember, don't post your answers here, send them to me in a PM. The last contest was to come up with good questions for my Dear Astrobrandt series. I expect to do more than one, but the one I chose as winner for this contest came from Rory Christie. This business about jumping on the moon has been very popular among hoax conspiracy theorists. Rory's on the fence about Apollo. I don't think I've had any Dear Astrobrandt questions from die-hard hoax nuts. Maybe they don't want me making videos that debunk their most cherished hoax claims. I guess I could see that as a compliment. An earlier contest winner was Lily Spice, who won because he was the first person to donate to my Susie's Cause fundraiser. The prize was that I will make a video on a topic of his choice. He has chosen.
You have chosen wisely.
He wants me to make a video debunking the claims made in someone's flat earth video. So that will be the next video I will make. And yes, Lily Spice is a guy. He's using his daughter's YouTube account. Finally, I'd like to make the request again for donations to my Susie's Cause fundraiser. I got a bunch of donations for Team Marguerite within the first couple of days after my first video request, but none since. The deadline for the random drawing for a video from me on a topic of your choice is October 30th, 2016. That's only 3 days away. So let's get those donations rolling again. Cancer isn't taking any breaks.